first kick, how much you want to bet?
Hi, this is Kaplan from the New England Motorcycle Museum, and today proud to be representing what is the hottest vintage trail bike on the market today. The AMF Harley Davidson Aramaki SX125 and 250 series are really taking off. They were kind of a limited production. These were built for the discerning buyer who wanted something a big step up from the Japanese offerings of the day, from the Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki enduro bikes. And I think from watching the video, you heard how this thing sounds. These things run so much better than the Japanese counterparts of their day. The Italian engine is just tuned to perfection, and it hauls the mail, even with a big guy like me on it. These things are really fast. It's a two-stroke 125. These things are also a lot of fun. They have the ability to be obviously street legal with the headlight, turn light, turn signals, tail light, everything else. And they're a fantastic investment. We bought a collection of 19 vintage Aramakis from a private collector who was getting up in his years, and we saved the best for last. If you check our completed listings, you'll see we just sold one for $5,650, and it wasn't as nice as this one. It was an orange color one, and if you want to buy a Harley Davidson enduro bike, black is the way to go. This one only has 620 miles. It's barely broken in. The engine's in perfect condition. We've gone through the bike front to back. We just put $2,200 into services and restoration and preservation for services on the bike, and it's absolutely gorgeous. This is a museum piece. It's been on display in the New England Motorcycle Museum for about 6 months. We have to sell it because we need to raise funds to finish the museum restoration project. I hate to sell it, but because these are really hard to replace. If you had one of these when you were a kid, or you knew someone who had one and you want to buy one, buy this bike, because you're not going to find another 600-mile example that's original. This is an unrestored original bike. By that I mean the paint, the engine, the seat, the fenders, all the turn signals and lenses, the handlebars, the grips, even the levers, and it's all original. These are Harley Davidson mirrors on this motorcycle. You know, to find a 50-year-old trail bike with 600 miles on it that's been in a museum, museum's storage its entire life and only ridden 600 miles is extremely rare. The chrome on this bike is in really good condition. They weren't known for the best chrome back then, 50 years ago, so to have it survive like this. The chrome on the mirrors is beautiful. The chrome on the handlebars is great. The rims is in good condition. The exhaust guard on this bike, take a look at this exhaust guard. It's absolutely freaking beautiful. The original SX125 logo and the chrome on it is in beautiful condition. You're just not going to find a better one than this, I'm telling you straight up. The pegs, look at this original AMF Harley Davidson pegs, and the shifter has the original shifter rubber on it. Looks brand new, just spectacular condition, and this thing hauls the mail. They're a lot of fun. You can take this bike, ride it anywhere, ride it to the beach, ride it to around your campground. It's a two-stroke, so it's a little bit less susceptible to having carb issues with the ethanol fuel because it mixes oil and gas together, so you're running oil through the engine. So the two strokes seem to be surviving a little bit better than the four strokes of their era. Let me tell you what we did to this bike. We went through it front to back, top to bottom. The first thing we did is we did a professional museum quality wash, wax, detail, and the exhaust system was removed, cleaned inside and out, and repainted to factory spec. We touched up some of the black paint on the and a couple spots on the frame as a rust preventative measure. There was a couple of nicks in the frame. All the chrome was polished. The entire bike. If you look at the frame rails underneath this bike, look at the bottom of this motor. It's like a museum piece. It's absolutely freaking gorgeous. Okay, so there's no dents on the frame rails, no dents on the pegs, no damage on the kickstarter. This bike, I'm gonna tell you straight up, this bike was never ridden off-road except for the video that we just did on it. This was a street-only bike. It's in fantastic condition and everything works perfectly on this bike. It's 100% mechanically perfect. Starting with so that's the cosmetics. It's in beautiful shape. And it's original paint. You cannot find these 50-year-old bikes with original paint like this that looks like new like this. It's got a couple beauty marks in the paint, a little bit of patina from being almost 50 years old, and that's what collectors want. That's what's bringing top dollar today. Repaints, like some of the other ones we've sold, are beautiful, but it's only original once, and this bike's original. As far as the mechanical stuff goes, the first thing we did is we did a cylinder compression test, 150 PSI, which is like perfect. The guy that we bought these bikes from had the wisdom of a museum quality collector. He took the spark plug out and he filled the motors with motor oil, with 1040 motor oil, and kicked it over. So the whole motor was absolutely spotless inside, not a speck of rust. All we did was empty all the oil out, kick it over a bunch of times, and then fire it up. So the engine was preserved beautifully. And that also stands for the lower end too. Everything was oiled so that there was no issues with it. So the cylinder compression was 150 psi. It didn't have a battery because it was a museum storage, so we put a brand new battery in it because we wanted to get it running. We also did a complete check on the entire wiring harness on this motorcycle. The Zener diode did not have the proper resistance, so we put a replacement Zener diode in it, and we hooked up the battery and everything checked out good. We checked the spark. The spark is good. We put a brand new spark plug in it. We drained the fuel tank. Actually, there was no fuel in it. We took the fuel tank off and then we rinsed it out, did a professional cleaning on the inside of the fuel tank, flushed it out, and we installed a brand new petcock. Look at this, brand new fuel petcock, because there's a lot of gaskets and moving parts inside of these. So I'll move this out of the way so it doesn't fall over. The petcock was replaced with a brand new fuel petcock. We put new fuel lines on it, new clamps, and then we added fuel to it, fresh fuel with stable in it. The carburetor was removed. We did a complete carburetor cleaning. The carburetor was taken off and cleaned in our ultrasonic cleaning tank. It was adjusted to perfection, and all the jets were cleaned. The air box was cleaned out. The air filter is in mint condition. It's like brand new. The oil pump. So now the whole fuel system's completely reconditioned. Brand new lines, brand new gaskets, everything. The carbs rebuilt, the intakes rebuilt. The engine was cleaned from the fogging oil that was in there, and new spark plug was installed. So the motor's brand new. The oil pump, this is oil injected. You don't have to mix oil with gas. The oil pump was adjusted to perfect specification. The throttle cable was adjusted. On this side of the engine, on the flywheel, we took the flywheel off, the side cover off, and we cleaned and adjusted the points, adjusted the timing, and we installed a brand new flywheel keyway, which is something these are notorious for doing. The flywheel keyways would sometimes fail on these. So as a preventative measure, not only did we clean everything out to museum quality inside of there, we also put a brand new flywheel keyway in, adjusted the points and everything, got it totally dialed in. Then we fired the bike up, and you heard it, this thing sounds badass. It runs mint, it hauls the mail. It's a 5-speed transmission, so if you want to take it ripping down the highway or down the back streets, it handles like a dream. And if you want to take it off-road, as we demoed in the video, this thing's great for off-road. It's got a little creeper gear, first gear. It'll crawl, this thing will rip a house off the foundation. So it's got a lot of power, a lot more than a 4-stroke 125. In fact, it's equivalent in horsepower and torque to a 250cc 4-stroke. So just to give you an idea, they're about double the horsepower of an equivalent 4-stroke. The chain, the original chain was cleaned and lubed and adjusted to perfection. The gear oil was drained. It had fresh gear oil in it when it was put in the museum storage, but we drained that, put fresh gear oil in. There's a fuel fitting on the side of the carburetor that also we had to rebuild or replace, actually, excuse me. It was leaking a little bit, so when we were rebuilding the car, a couple of parts got replaced. The wheel bearings were greased and inspected. They're in perfect condition, as you'd expect on a 600-mile bike. The steering head bearings were greased and adjusted, and those were in perfect condition with 600 miles. The tire pressure was adjusted to factory spec, inspected the tires, wheels and spokes were all adjusted. Everything's mint on the tires and wheels, no issues there. There was a couple of bulbs that were out on it. The indicator bulb for the lens and the meter display needed to be replaced, so it's got a new bulb inside there, so everything works on the lights, and all the idiot lights work perfectly on it. It was test ridden by the gentleman who worked on this. Is in his late 50s. He's our #1 mechanic at the New England Motorcycle Museum. He's the one who went through and carefully massaged this bike back to perfection, mechanical perfection and cosmetic perfection. He's built multiple AMA championship concourse winning #1 place motorcycles. And to have a guy work on that bike is easily worth $150 an hour, easily, because you're not gonna find a guy who can do what he does. They just don't exist, I'm telling you straight up. I've been to 100 mechanics. To find a guy like the guy we got, they're not around. Don't try to hire him, I'll hunt you down like the hounds of hell and cut you to pieces, okay? So don't even think about that. So the mechanic who worked on this, easily worth $150 an hour. We calculated the labor out at $80 an hour, which is half what it's worth. We put a total of 23 hours of labor in this at $80 an hour, is $1,840. Okay, if I charge you what it was really worth, it'd be around $3,700. If you bought a bike in here and asked us to do what we did to this, you'd have a bill close to, well over $2,000. The parts that we used on the bike, it didn't need much of parts because it was in museum condition to begin with, but we put a brand new NGK B70S spark plug, we put a brand new B7 LV battery in it, we put an S16 black hose, excuse me, a 5/16 inch black hose clamp, new fuel line clip, and these are all the original style ones, brand new black fuel line, a brand new OEM fuel fitting, a brand new OEM petcock. This is not an aftermarket petcock. It was purchased from a Harley distributor, and it's a replica or the original OEM. I'm not really quite sure, but it says here OEM petcock. There was also quite a bit of shipping. We had to custom order all these parts from all over the place. It has a brand new Zener diode in it, electrical Zener diode. It also has a new mini indicator bulb, new OEM indicator lens, and brand new transmission oil, a brand new air cleaner, and a brand new flywheel keyway. So the total of parts was $180. The invoice here came out to $2,156, and that's a conservative number based on 80 bucks an hour. It's worth a lot more than that. This is a fantastic bike. It needs nothing. It's ready to go. If you want to make an investment that's going to outpace the stock market, then you should buy this bike. If you want an investment you can enjoy, whether you put it back in the museum storage and just look at it every day, like I do with some of my bikes. You know, I got some bikes I ride and some I just look at and they make me happy. You can do that. If you want a bike that, if you want to buy the Cadillac, the Ducati of the high-end bike for the enduro bikes of the 70s, this is it. Like I said, these were built for the discerning few. This was not like a cheap, you know, Honda or even those are obviously super hot today, but this was a step up from the Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki two-strokes, a big step up in performance, quality of components. The suspension on it is much better. I forget the manufacturer of the forks, but you remember the fork manufacturer, Jay, on these? They're not, I think they're Serranis. I'm pretty sure they are. They're not made by Harley Davidson or AMF or a Mach-E. They're a really high quality fork. The suspension is fantastic on this bike. The other thing I wanted to show you is that this is a fully documented bike in that we have the original owner's manual, which is in mint condition. I don't think it's ever been used. There's no grease spots anywhere on it. It just has a patina of the 50 years on there, kind of like me. This is a 1976 Harley Davidson parts catalog supplement with all the original part numbers on here, and then we've got the larger parts catalog for the 75 and 76 SXT125, which is what this bike is. and it's all in great shape. The bike is sold with a, Connecticut's a non-title state for vintage motorcycles, so it's sold with a Connecticut DMV approved bill of sale. We can have that notarized for you if you'd like. Again, if you have any questions, give us a call. So yeah, if you had one of these when you were a kid and you want to relive your childhood and make a great investment while you're doing it, buy this bike. You want to buy something you can enjoy that is also a good investment. There's another great reason to buy it. I can give you about 100 reasons why it's a great bike. This bike would not be for sale if we didn't need the money. Right now we're short about $300,000 on finishing the museum, so we're selling off some of our collection. This is one of the last. Is this the last out of the collection of Armakis? I believe it is. I'm pretty sure there may be one or two more. There were 19 of them. This was the best of the 125s. Like I said, we just sold one for $58.50. The reserve on this is going to be lower than that. Hopefully, it's going to bring good fair market value, and we'll let the market decide what that is. So if you have any questions on the bike, give us a call, 860-454-7024. If you want to come take a look at the bike, feel free to. If you want help with the shipping, we ship about 50 bikes a month all over the world. We hardly ever sell bikes in New England. They're always going to the UK or Japan or Canada or California. So we have the best shippers in the world you can work with. If you want to leave the bike here on display in the museum, you're welcome to. We'd love to have it. Or if you want to come pick it up right away, that's fine too. If you want to come take a look at it, if you want to have us demo the bike for you, or if you have to test ride it, we'll probably work something out there too. We're here 6 days a week, Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday a half day, 10 to 2. So if you have any questions, call 860-454-7024. If you want to come look at the bike, just come on down. We're here. Give us a heads up you're coming, and we'll be ready to demo the bike for you. So good luck bidding on it. I hope it goes to a great home. It's an absolutely gorgeous bike. I give it the Ken Kaplan seal of approval as being a world-class vintage trail bike. So good luck bidding on it, and God bless America.